My buddy Noah swung by to pick me up for a 4-day hunting trip, so I gave a quick goodbye to my wife. He had already loaded up the truck with all the essentials, guns, gear, the works. Getting everything ready ahead of time was key if we wanted any real shot at success. He rolled back the cover on the truck bed and opened a storage drawer behind the cab. "Stash your rifle in here," he said, pointing to a rugged metal box. I slid my rifle and pack into the compartment, locked it down. Then I climbed into the front seat and glanced back at the house one last time. The front door was already shut. No wave, no goodbye, just silence. Noah took the wheel and headed toward his family's old cabin, now watched over by his Uncle Hank. Hank wasn't mobile anymore, so Noah had taken over maintenance and caretaking duties. "He's really upgraded the place," Noah said. "New insulation, a better wood stove. You won't need to wear a parka just to sleep." He grinned. "Oh, and this year," he added, "a satellite dish. Internet, too. There's no cell service out here," he added. "But if you need to reach Tessa, WhatsApp works over Wi-Fi." I shrugged. "She's not expecting to hear from me. I like being off the grid, won't even mention the Wi-Fi." That night, we watched SportsCenter over dinner, relaxed. Later, I cracked open a John Sanford book while Noah browsed something on his laptop. We were on our second beers, taking it slow. This wasn't some wild drunken escape. It was about reconnecting with nature and, hopefully, bagging some venison. Suddenly Noah sat up straight. "Oh crap," he muttered. I closed my book and turned to him. His eyes were locked on the screen, scrolling rapidly. "Holy double crap," he muttered again, face suddenly tight with concern. I marked my page, feeling the tension thicken. "What is it, Noah? News? Something with Tessa?" His voice dropped. "Dude, you need to see this." He turned the laptop toward me. I stood, walked over, and sat beside him. I braced for some horrible headline, but this wasn't CNN or anything close. It was some sketchy social media site, and right there on the screen, smiling back at me, was Tessa. I'd always found her smile unnerving, like she was hiding something just beneath it. I stared at Noah. "What the hell am I looking at?" "Eli." "I'm sorry, man," he said quietly. "It's a dating site." "Eh, what?" I blinked. I was stunned. After my ex, Riley, left me, I was in a rough place. Didn't date, didn't socialize, just went numb for months. Eventually, I dipped into Tinder and other sites just to feel human again. I locked eyes with Noah. "Some of these sites aren't really about dating," he said, trying to lighten the mood. "More like straight-up hookup apps." He chuckled awkwardly. "I got lucky a few times, but the shocking part? Some of the women are married. Wives. Just like Tessa." I looked back at the screen, and sure enough, another image popped up. It was her again, different pose, same unmistakable face. My stomach twisted. "Mav." Noah leaned in. "Look, Eli, I've seen plenty of fake profiles. Sometimes they steal photos, use real names, no permission. Could be that." I wanted to believe him, but the profile screamed authenticity. The pictures weren't stolen, they were hers. And one detail hit like a knife. The outfit she wore in one of the pictures? I bought it for her last Christmas. That photo wasn't even a year old. And I definitely didn't take it. Then I started reading the profile text. "Can you help me with my daddy issues?" it said. And no, I don't mean sugar daddy. My breath caught. I think my real dad always wanted to, but he never did. It got worse. I picture him sometimes, middle-aged and sexy. Or younger. Even retired, but still strong. Daddy's girl wants some attention. If you're clean and match the vibe, send a photo. I'm free this long weekend and want some daddy-daughter fun. Underneath that was a box that read, "Status, closing soon." I looked at Noah, completely shaken. Daddy issues? What the hell is this? Noah looked rattled. "It's not always because they're unhappy, Eli. Some wives, they're just twisted. They chase fantasies they won't admit to." "Fantasies," I said, choking down a laugh. "She's fantasizing about her dad?" Noah shrugged, trying to keep it together. I kept reading, my throat thick. "You found the double crap," Noah said. He was right. Dad's side is Greek and Italian, it read. Dark eyes, thick dark curls, strong nose with a Roman bump. My blood went cold. "If you're 6 feet tall and have a runner's body, you'll be the highlight of my weekend." Noah blinked. "Wait, that's you. I thought you knew." "Not a clue, man. Not one." We sat in stunned silence. Tessa's dad, Patrick, is an Irish guy, pale skin, rusty hair, totally wrong fit. She was describing me, not him. Then came the triple crap. Just under her profile was a link, Join the chat room. I scrolled through it, and one thread hit me like a punch to the chest. Hey, I've had a lot of free time this month. Got a spot for me? Tessa's reply. Oh yes, I've got room. Let me know when I can see you again. Did you have fun last month? I just muttered, screw me. She'd been doing this for a while. I looked to Noah. Can you tell how long she's been on here? Maybe it's about money? I asked, grasping. But even I didn't believe that. I flinched, expecting a live stream next. Noah took the laptop and checked the site again. Nah, it's not that kind of setup, he said. It looks like she's doing it, just because she enjoys it. She thought one time would be enough, he muttered. I clenched my jaw. If it was only once, she wouldn't be lining up a whole weekend while I'm gone. Noah raised a brow. This is a pop-up dating site. It's fast hookups, not long-term love. Set up a date with her, I snapped. What? He blinked. Swipe, or whatever. See if she's available this weekend. I want to know if she's really getting her thrills while I'm up here. I could try, he said, reluctantly. But I don't match the profile. She's asking for a photo. Then it hit me. She wanted my photo. I laid out a plan to use my own picture to lure her. Noah agreed, it could work. I sighed. It's too late now. But maybe I can still wreck her weekend. Leave a message in the chat that I'm coming home with a rifle. Don't warn her, Noah said. She told the guy she's free Friday and Sunday. She's planning multiple meetups. We had taken Friday and Monday off, so she wouldn't expect me back until Monday afternoon. If you text her now, she'll just come up with lies to cover it all up. His voice cracked with anger, and I remembered Riley, his ex-wife, ran off with her boss. If we leave now, Noah said, you can catch her in person. Get proof. He glanced back at her profile with disgust. The cabin was just over 3 hours from home. We started weighing our options, showing up unannounced, tailing her to her hookups, even confronting her so-called daddy. But the real storm would be the divorce. Noah's own legal battles had been brutal, but his experience might just save me from being completely destroyed. Roughly 2 hours later, we were driving mostly in silence, having already gone over the plan 3 different times. Around 10:45, Noah slowed as we turned onto my street, easing up near my house. Keep going, I said sharply. He shot me a look, but kept the truck moving. Turn the corner and stop, I added. He obeyed, pulling over and facing me again. There's a car parked across the street from your place. I squinted. Yeah, I don't know that one. Nobody ever parks there overnight. It hit me. She's already started, and she's using our bed. My hand went to the door handle. Thanks, man. You can go now. Noah stiffened. Hell no. We had a plan. Either we check it out together, or we let it ride till tomorrow. I can't wait, I said. I have to know. Eli, he warned. If she's by herself, it proves nothing, and you'll still be a wreck. I need to see it for myself, I said again, more firmly. All right, plan B, he muttered, pulling into the alley behind my house. Whatever happens, we do one sweep and head to my place, Noah said, voice firm. My divorce taught me to pause before reacting, he added, his glance reminding me my rifle was still in the truck. Right, I thought grimly. He parked, and we crept through the shadows toward my backyard. I grabbed the latch on the alley gate, silently praying Tessa had forgotten to lock it again after taking the trash out. She had. We slipped into the yard without a sound. Our bedroom was tucked in the back corner of the house, and we could see a soft glow behind the curtains. Avoiding dried leaves, we moved carefully toward the bigger window. I tried to see in, but the curtain made it difficult. Noah gave a small shake of his head. I leaned closer, noticed a narrow gap in the fabric. Looking through, I froze. Tessa was in bed with an older man. My blood pounded. My first instinct was to shatter the glass, but I stopped myself, fumbling for my Leatherman instead. Before I could act, Noah grabbed my wrist. He motioned for silence, pulling me back. I resisted, heart pounding, but finally let him lead me away. Noah threw up his hands in frustration and stalked toward the gate. I followed, mind reeling. Back at the truck, I glanced at the lockbox beneath the vinyl seat. Rifles, a .357 Magnum, and bear spray were tucked inside. Ignoring my silent plea, Noah said, "We've been here too long already." He started the truck and rolled out of the alley. A few minutes later, we pulled into a nearly empty grocery store parking lot just a few blocks away. The store was closed. Only staff cars remained. I stared out the windshield. Why don't I just go back there and wreck the guy? You'd land in jail, Noah said calmly. It's not his fault. Tessa's the one who invited him in. He probably doesn't even know she's married. I need to handle this cold. Smart, I said aloud, repeating his earlier advice like a mantra. Once we got to his apartment, Noah immediately locked up all the firearms and bear spray in his weapon cabinet. You're still in shock, he said firmly, not letting me near them. We sat in silence at his kitchen counter while he poured tequila. A quiet toast followed, one of this twisted mess we were now in. We chased it with Pacificos. She's cheating on you. With you, Noah said, thinking aloud. Maybe she's chasing the feeling she had when you first met. I wasn't in my 50s then. And our bed hasn't exactly gone cold, I snapped. Maybe she still loves you, Noah continued. But this daddy stuff? Maybe that's how she makes sense of it. I shook my head slowly. Nope, not buying that excuse. He then brought up the idea of opening the relationship, controlling it on our terms. The look I gave him shut that down instantly. I just asked for another shot. We ended up sleeping in late Friday morning, but didn't abandon the plan. Noah dropped me at a rental place where I picked up a plain, low-profile sedan. Next stop was a bank Tessa and I never used. I opened a new checking account using funds from our trip stash. I moved half our savings and around 20% of our main account into the new one. The banker, Derek, reminded me to leave enough in the joint account to cover the mortgage, car payments, and credit cards. Protect your credit score, he advised, helping me install the banking app on my phone. Then I stopped at a T-Mobile store and bought a dual SIM phone with a high-end camera. I didn't change the family account to avoid tipping Tessa off. Noah encouraged me to use every remaining hour before Monday to prepare. No confrontations just yet. Sir? Everything okay? The store employee asked, snapping me out of it. I blinked, still sitting at the counter, lost in my head. Sorry, I said quickly. I banged my knee yesterday, hurts like hell. She looked at me sideways. Hope it gets better soon. She kept explaining how to toggle between SIMs. I left limping, physically and emotionally worn out. Noah and I regrouped at Starbucks. Over strong coffee, we mapped out the next phase. After that, we returned to my neighborhood. We left Noah's easily recognized truck in the same grocery lot from the night before, now packed with shoppers. He drove my rental to the house this time. My car was in the garage, but Tessa's vehicle and that same red Hyundai Accent were gone. We reached the alley. I got out fast and checked the back gate, still unlocked. I almost made a mental note to remind Tessa to lock it, then caught myself. Better she keeps forgetting. The front door might alert the neighbors, so I stuck to our stealth approach. Noah waited in the lot, keeping watch. We typically returned via Tompkins Parkway and 3rd, which gave us decent visibility of the house. A part of me felt paranoid. Tessa was supposed to be at work, but I couldn't be too careful. I slipped in through the back door and stepped into the utility room. Using a long pole, I pulled down the attic ladder. As I poked my head up through the hatch, my walkie-talkie beeped twice, Noah's signal that he was in position. He would beep every 10 minutes as a countdown. I pressed the transmit button once to acknowledge. Calling it an attic was generous, more like a cramped crawlspace tucked under the roof. I crouched low, shuffled around, careful not to make noise. Luckily, the bags I needed were close, just a canvas duffel and an old briefcase-style backpack. I avoided grabbing anything from downstairs. Less chance of leaving a trace. I sealed the hatch quietly, making sure I left no visible signs behind. Next stop was the little alcove in the living room that doubled as our home office. I unlocked the safe tucked under the desk and pulled out everything that mattered. Passport, social security card, birth certificate, marriage license, and my will. I placed them all neatly into the old briefcase. There was $2,000 in cash inside too. I took $1,000 and left the rest to avoid drawing attention. The safe also had about $5,000 in gold coins, but instead of grabbing those, I just took the original purchase receipt to keep suspicions low. Noah's double beep buzzed on my walkie, 10 minutes inside. I moved to the bedroom quickly and grabbed a pair of black slacks, 2 dress shirts, a couple of ties, socks, and my black loafers. Just enough stuff to be unnoticed but functional if things got messy. The tough part was rigging the surveillance. At Starbucks, Noah and I had figured out how to use the time-lapse feature on my new phone. We didn't need audio, just visuals would tell the story. I hid the phone up high inside a cabinet, wedged between my hats so it had a solid view of about 80% of the bed. I even tugged the curtains open a bit more than usual to improve visibility, despite Noah warning me not to risk changes she might notice. Another double beep buzzed just as I finished. I moved to the living room where we had brought one of the trail cams from the cabin. I mounted it on the top shelf of a tall bookcase, aimed to catch movement across the sitting area. It had a motion sensor, full battery, and an empty SD card, ready to record the whole long weekend. Meanwhile, the phone in the bedroom was set to auto-upload images to my cloud every 6 hours. With 2 minutes to spare, I slipped out of the house and got Noah's final signal. I slid into the passenger seat, keeping a sharp eye on 3rd Street and Tompkins Parkway for any sign of Tessa's return. We hit the KFC drive-thru and eventually spread our food and paperwork out on Noah's kitchen table like we were planning a corporate coup. Neither of us was really hungry, but I nibbled on chicken tenders and fries while sipping Jack and Cola, Noah's addition, not mine. "All right, you should text her now," Noah said. "Keep it looking normal." Tessa was well aware that reception in the mountains was garbage and used that as a shield to dodge real conversations while I was away. The routine was simple. We always sent at least one text to stay connected. So, while pretending to find a signal mid-hike, I got ready to send one. What do I even say? I muttered. Noah reached for my phone. "Just send the usual." He scrolled through old messages and smirked. "Here we go." He typed as he read aloud. "Hey babe, made it here no problem. Weather's good. We'll be hitting the trail early. I'll text again later. Zoxo, Eli." He hit send, then immediately began dialing a new number. "Next up, lawyer time," Noah said. He called Jenna Caldwell, the attorney who'd helped him during his own divorce hell. After a brief intro, he handed me the phone. "Hello," I said. "Hi, Eli," a friendly voice replied. "Noah didn't mention your last name." "It's Warren, but just call me Eli," I said. "All right, Eli." "I'm guessing this all came out of nowhere and got pretty nasty?" she asked. "Yeah, pretty damn ugly," I admitted. "Pardon the language." She chuckled. "If you can't vent to your lawyer, who can you vent to?" Her humor helped me breathe again. "So, are you my lawyer now? Do I even need one?" I asked. "Well, let's answer that second question first," she said. "This is infidelity, right? Are you considering counseling or forgiveness?" "Absolutely not," I replied without hesitation. "Okay, then. Are you comfortable using the court's online system to file yourself? Isn't that only for no-fault cases?" I asked. "Correct. If you want infidelity to affect things like alimony or property division, you'll need representation," she confirmed. "Can you take the case?" "Noah said you were fantastic," I asked. "He mentioned my rates?" she replied. "He did," I said. "They've gone up a bit, but I'll honor the same rate I gave him," she offered. "Sounds fair," I said. "When can we meet?" "I can squeeze you in Monday morning," she replied. I covered the receiver and whispered to Noah, "She wants him because the case is juicy." He grinned knowingly. "Told you. Miss Caldwell, that works for me. Should I bring my proof?" "You already have some?" she asked. "Just found out. Didn't you?" "Yeah." We grabbed screenshots of her dating profile. And last night, we saw her with a guy. I set up cameras in the house to catch whatever else happens over the weekend. "So, she advertised for hookups online?" "Yep," I said. "And she's looking for men that look like me." "Wait, haven't you put on a bit of weight since the wedding?" she asked bluntly. "Not really," I replied. "I'm 6 foot, 180 pounds. Maybe 5 pounds heavier than I was when we got married. Still lifting. I run, too." "Good to know," she said. "We'll go over more details Monday." "Sounds good," I said. "Once we hang up, I'll send you a login to a secure site where you can upload all the evidence," she added. "No one knows the site address. I'll review everything before our meeting at 11 a.m. Monday. I'll be there," I confirmed. "Oh, and Eli," she said before I could hang up. "Yeah, stay away from your wife until then. Don't go back home. I practice family law, not criminal." I hesitated, then nodded. "Understood." Once we got the secure login from Jenna, I uploaded the screenshots of Tessa's profile and activity. Noah grabbed my phone and checked the latest message from her. "Miss you, but hope you're having fun. Happy hunting. Love you, Tessa." He rolled his eyes, then typed a reply pretending to be me. "No deer yet. We're calling it a night. Talk soon." He locked the phone in his safe, explaining the metal would block the signal. I'll press send, but the signal's jammed. Later, we'll turn it on, and it'll look like it's sent late. Blame the mountains. "You read too many spy novels," I joked, but I appreciated the effort. As the night went on, Noah opened up about his own mess of a divorce, how he paid the mortgage and spousal support while his ex was already sleeping with her boss. I prayed Tessa's cheating would spare me from going through that same nightmare. We put Noah's experience to work. I closed all my investment accounts, changed every password I had, and started locking down anything Tessa could touch. We were just getting started. I went through all my investment accounts and locked them down, closed what I could, and updated every password tied to Tessa. I also updated the contact info on all my accounts to route through my new phone and private email. Then I shut down our joint credit cards, except the one she used daily. I just dropped the limit way down to keep her from noticing right away. When the 6-hour upload window hit, I logged into my cloud storage to review the first batch of images from the house. Halfway through a cold piece of chicken, I nearly lost it. The surveillance phone had been set to capture 6 photos every 30 seconds on a 15-minute interval. The first sequence showed the bed neatly made, but with new pillowcases. Out of the 11 photo sets, 6 came up blank, but 5 showed her in bed with 2 different men. I gagged and had to force myself to swallow the bile. "I need out of here," I said, shaking. "Yeah," Noah replied grimly. "Let's get out. I'll buy you a drink." "No, I don't need a drink. I need to be alone," I said, gripping the edge of the table. "I really don't think that's a good call, Eli," Noah said, his voice steady. "Damn it, Noah, I need to puke. I need to cry. I just need space," I snapped. "I get it," he said quietly, "but don't do anything stupid. Don't drink. Don't go back home." "I won't. I swear. I just want to clear my head," I assured him. "Then drive. Don't stop. Just get on the highway and drive it off." He gave in with a reluctant nod and forwarded every shot of her little daddy adventures to Jenna Caldwell. Before I left, he reminded me to power up my phone so Tessa would get my staged text and so he could reach me if needed. I thanked him and left, promising again to stay sober. I drove 30 minutes north and then looped back, giving nightfall enough time to settle in. The supermarket lot was still open, so I parked there and walked toward my house, slipping into the alley behind it. The back gate was finally locked. I climbed over the fence, careful but swift, and crossed the yard silently. Peeking through the narrow curtain gap, I saw her again in bed with someone else. As I made my way toward the door, my phone buzzed with a message, then a call from Noah. I ignored both and kept moving. From the dark, I suddenly heard, "I see you, idiot." It was Noah, standing in the bed of his truck like a watchdog. "Get over here or I'll lay on the horn," he warned. I cursed and crept toward the fence, making more noise than I liked. I didn't need the neighbors calling the cops. "What the hell, Noah?" I hissed. "She's in there with some damn toy soldier. I'm going to give him a lesson he won't forget." "Back off, or I will call the cops," he said flatly. I climbed into the truck bed beside him, seething. We drove off without another word and ended up at a bar on Tompkins Parkway, just 2 blocks from the supermarket. In a shadowed booth, Noah shoved a shot of Derek Beam in front of me, followed by a beer. "Drink. Then talk," he ordered. "I've had it," I said after a long swallow. "She's turned our home into a damn brothel. I'm never sleeping there again, but I'll be damned if I let this slide." Noah leaned back. "All right then, let's shut it down." "What?" I blinked. "Your phone," he said, reaching across the table. He scrolled through my contacts and dialed Tessa's number, then switched it to speaker. After 5 rings, she answered, clearly out of breath. "Eli? Oh. I mean, what a sweet surprise. You must really miss me," she said, fake affection dripping in her voice. "Hi, Tessa. It's Noah," he replied, voice cool and composed. There was a pause. "Noah? Why are you calling? Is Eli okay?" she asked, suddenly alert. "He had a bit of an accident," Noah said. "Not too serious, but I might take him down the mountain tonight. Just wanted you to know." "What happened? Is he all right?" "Let me talk to him," she said, full on panic now. "It's okay. He just hit his head on a branch and needed ice and rest. If he gets weird, I'll bring him in," Noah said calmly. "Do I need to come there?" she asked. "No," Noah replied, then rubbed his thumb over the mic and quietly slid the phone under the table. Her voice cracked through the speaker. "Noah? I didn't hear that last part." He gave the mic another stroke. "Lie. 1 bar now, Moro." Then he ended the call. "There," he said. "That should shut things down." For the first time in 24 hours, I actually laughed. We both needed that. I asked if he thought it worked. He nodded. "She'll dump Captain Cosplay and cancel the rest of her dates if she thinks you're hurt." As we headed back toward the house, Noah remarked that Tessa probably had her lovers park at the supermarket to avoid drawing attention. "How thoughtful of her," I said with a sarcastic grin. "Shoo, that might be one of them now," Noah whispered. Up ahead, a guy in army fatigue strolled toward us. Noah stepped in front of me, body tense. Evening, he said as we crossed paths. The man barely grunted. Noah turned to face him. He stopped, eyeing us. He kind of looks like you used to, Noah said to me. The guy's face tightened. His eyes darted between us, confusion dawning. Hey, young daddy, meet the actual husband, Noah said coolly. You like married women, huh? I growled. Noah stepped between us again. Easy. He turned back to the man. Didn't notice any family pictures? A guy who looked like an older brother. Now Noah was angry too, his own divorce wounds flaring up in real time. She told me she was divorced, the soldier stammered. Not yet, I said, voice low. But soon. The guy backed away. Oh crap. Then he bolted. I could have caught him, but Noah blocked me. Don't, he said. For the second time in as many days, I nearly shoved my best friend out of the way. But then I saw the pain on his face. I lost Riley to a guy like that. Don't let me lose you too, he said. I stepped back, fist clenched. You already lost the war, he said gently. Punching that kid would win you nothing and cost you everything. I slumped against the car. Maybe I'll get my shot in a few months, I muttered. In 6 months, with an alibi in place, Noah said with a grin. We sat quietly in the rental car, back in the grocery store lot. Tessa had thrown out her army boy, and Noah was pretty sure we'd disrupted her whole weekend. He was worn out from the drama but agreed to give me 1 more hour. We killed half of it at the bar with a couple more beers, then circled back. That's when a Nissan Sentra with out-of-state tags pulled into the lot. A guy stepped out, checked the street signs under a nearby light. He looked like me, similar build, same dark features. A cousin, maybe. He turned up 3rd Street. I peeled off onto 2nd, planning to loop back and intercept from the opposite side. Noah tailed the guy at a distance, making sure I didn't get close enough to lose control. I waited at the corner of Maple and 3rd, hiding behind a large tree as the man checked my house number and approached the door. He rang the bell, and Tessa opened it just a crack. I couldn't see her face, but I recognized her voice, too low to make out. The door shut after a few moments, and he knocked again, louder this time. She opened it with the security chain in place. I'm sorry, she said. It's not happening. Please leave or I'll call the cops. Then the door slammed, and I heard the deadbolt lock snap into place. The guy stood there, confused and frustrated, clearly not expecting to be turned away after coming so far. What the hell? He muttered. Cow. He blurted, before cutting himself off when the porch light next door suddenly flipped on. A door creaked open, and realizing the neighborhood was watching, he turned sharply and walked off down the sidewalk. Old Howard Crenshaw had saved me without even knowing it, his nosy curiosity keeping me from being spotted. Once the street cleared, I crept down 3rd, resisting every urge to storm my front door. Noah was waiting for me at Elm, and we slipped back to Tompkins. In the grocery lot, tires screeched and someone sped away, engine growling. Anger and driving bad mix, Noah said quietly. Yeah, I replied. Real bad. Saturday morning came after a rough night sleeping in Noah's spare room. I woke up and went straight to reviewing the footage from the bedroom cam. Tessa hadn't slept well either, tossing and turning, but nothing new showed up. I gathered screenshots of her previous encounters to send to Jenna. What about the video I took through the window? I asked Noah. Nope, he said firmly. What the indoor cam caught is enough. Don't even mention the window thing. Think that toy soldier panicked after we caught him? I asked. After the pictures? Yeah, I'd say so, Noah smirked. Then his smile faded. Let's hope he doesn't end up showing off at the wrong house. Some husbands don't lock up their guns. Thanks for the cheerful thought, I muttered. Let's cheer you up by waking up Jenna, he replied. I powered on my phone and was greeted by a flood of missed calls and messages from Tessa. I sent her a reply. Hey babe, it's Eli. Sorry Noah scared you. I'm doing okay now. Gonna stick to the plan and be home Monday night. Love you. As soon as it's sent, the phone rang Jenna. Didn't expect a Saturday morning check-in, I said, picking up. Hey, Eli. Just saw your newest upload, she replied. I covered the mic and glanced at Noah. Should I tell her? He nodded. Jenna, I'm putting you on speaker so Noah can fill you in on last night's events. Morning, Jenna, Noah said. Morning, Noah. You've been up to mischief, haven't you? You're rubbing off on him, she joked. Noah explained the fake injury call and misleading text messages, leaving out the parts where we stalked the house and confronted the soldier. I like it, she said when he finished. Are you sure she canceled the other hookups? She just texted me, I interrupted. Screw the deer. Come home. I need you. I love you. Please, come home now. Told you, Noah said. Told him what? Jenna asked. That she still loves him, despite the train wreck she's made of his life, Noah answered. Jenna, have you ever dealt with people like her? Nymphomaniacs? Psychological issues? I asked. She paused. I've had clients and spouses with all kinds of mental health conditions. It's not impossible. So what? I'm just supposed to forgive her because she might have a diagnosis? Pretend it's not her fault. You've seen the images, I said. How do I unsee that when I look at her? You probably can't, Jenna admitted. But if she is formally diagnosed, it'll affect the divorce. That said, no judge is going to deny you a divorce after what she's done. That settled it. Jenna, how fast can you file? I asked. I can't live with her another day. I get it, she replied gently. I'll have options for us to go over Monday. We may need to meet with her and her lawyer before finalizing anything. What do I tell her when I don't come home Monday night? Don't tell her anything. I'll take care of that, she said. So what now? I asked. You've done more than enough, she said. Keep calm. Don't poke the fire. Anything more could blow back on you. Noah chimed in. I'm doing my best to keep him from losing it. He keeps trying, though. Then Jenna said something odd. By the way, Eli, you're still good for 10 grand, right? Noah and I froze. Was she talking about money or something else? Yeah. I think I said something like that, I answered cautiously. Perfect. Run along, boys. Bye now. She hung up. Tessa called again. I turned off my phone. Taking Jenna's advice to heart, I went out to buy some new running gear. I hadn't packed any before the trip. Noah came along, and we ran together, though we stopped at 3 miles, his limit. I still felt like a pressure cooker, so Noah suggested a better outlet. We loaded up the rifles again and drove about an hour to the shooting range. I fired far more rounds than Noah, working through every ounce of rage. He cleaned his rifle early and went to chat with the range master. They glanced at me a few times. What did he say? I asked on the drive back. He asked if I could guarantee you'd only shoot paper targets. And you said? I said I could. As soon as we got back, he locked my rifle in the weapons cabinet. The rest of the weekend dragged. Noah kept me busy, Marvel movies, pacing my drinks, alternating whiskey with water. He handled all my messages to Tessa, replying that I was still deep in the woods, chasing deer. By Sunday, she was calling me names. She says you're an idiot for not coming home. Noah laughed. Wait till she gets the divorce papers, I said. A part of me found satisfaction in the unraveling. But mostly, I was just shattered. I still loved Tessa. I thought she loved me too. Maybe she cracked. Maybe I'd need therapy before this was over. After 4 nights of no real sleep, I woke up Monday completely drained, but fully committed to ending it. Tessa had gone too far, not just with what she'd done, but how much she seemed to enjoy doing it. We sent her a text that morning, claiming we were heading back into the woods and wouldn't be home until late. I apologized for scaring her on Friday, said I was doing fine now, just focused on hunting. We sent it from the supermarket parking lot just a few blocks from the house. Her reply came fast. You let me suffer all weekend, and you still can't give up that deer to come home early? Maybe just go stay at Noah's place, because I don't want to see you right away. The irony made me laugh, her suggesting what I'd already planned. 15 minutes later, I spotted her car turning off 3rd onto Tompkins, her regular route to work. I parked in the alley behind the house, not exactly trying to be invisible, but still keeping clear of the front to avoid questions from neighbors. Once the coast was clear, I climbed the fence and slipped in through the back door. I grabbed the trail camera from the living room and retrieved my second phone from the bedroom. Then I went into the spare room, originally meant to be a nursery one day, but now just a glorified closet. That dream was shattered, and I felt it twist in my chest. I took one of the suitcases, packed up more clothes, took my laptop, and added the gold coins from the safe. I figured Jenna would reach out to Tessa before she realized I'd been back. Once I got back to Noah's, I popped the SD card into my laptop to review. Exhausted, I brushed my teeth, collapsed onto the bed fully clothed, and didn't move until Noah woke me up. Out in the living room, the smell of coffee hit me as Noah worked the microwave. He handed me a breakfast sandwich, nodding toward the laptop. Bachelor life, huh? He said. Check the rest of the footage. Might even make you smile. There was a shot of whiskey next to my laptop. 9 in the morning on a Monday, and I was already stepping into my post-marriage life. Screw it. I knocked it back and opened the files. Noah was right. The weekend footage told more than I expected. After we chased off the soldier, Tessa had spent most of her time pacing the house, phone in hand, either texting or calling nonstop. The worry on her face was obvious. She did that through Saturday. Sunday, too. She cleaned up the living room, replacing framed photos that had been mysteriously missing. Mostly pictures of me. Noah dropped onto the couch beside me, digging into his biscuit and sipping his coffee. Damn, I muttered. She really tried to erase me, huh? She filed for divorce, remember? He said. Wait, go back, he added suddenly. To Friday. Look at her hands. I rewound the footage. Tessa was pacing again, texting frantically with both hands. What am I looking for? I asked. Then it hit me. She's not wearing her rings. I skipped ahead to around 10:30 Saturday morning. There it was. Bare fingers, flaunting single life. She was playing the role of a divorcee down to the detail. Later that morning, I sat across from Jenna Caldwell in her office. She stood tall in a sharp gray suit, striking features framed by dark red hair. Her amber eyes studied me with a mix of professionalism and curiosity. 6 feet, 180, lean but muscular, she said. I suppose I can believe the rest of your self-description. She smiled slightly and motioned for me to sit. I'm sure the weekend was brutal. How are you holding up? It's been rough, I admitted. I handed her my phone, showing her the latest messages from Tessa, including one that arrived just before I walked in. Baby, forget what I said earlier. Yes, I'm mad, but I need you home. I'm dying without you. Please, Eli, Jenna read aloud. She nodded slowly. This doesn't look like someone trying to push you out of her life. My guess? Once she knows you know, she'll never try this again. I can't just sweep this under the rug, I said, jaw clenched. No, of course not. But if she came clean, promised to change, would you even consider forgiving her? She raised a hand before I could snap. I have to ask, Eli. The court will. And honestly, I think part of you still cares. I do. But I don't know how I'm supposed to look at her again, I said. You saw screenshots and video clips, but I watched it all, Jenna. All of it. She didn't need more. She nodded. I get it. But it's my job to ask whether the marriage can be saved. Tessa's going to fight to keep you. But no, nobody can force counseling, especially not after what she pulled. Then let's move forward, I said. Tell me what I need to do. If we file for adultery, do I still have to split everything? Do I pay alimony? My income's double hers. We spent the next few hours working through it all. By the time the deli sandwiches arrived, Jenna had a rough strategy mapped out to protect me as much as possible. At 1 p.m., I gave her the green light. She picked up my phone, put it on speaker, and called Tessa. The line barely buzzed before she answered. Eli, where are you? Are you okay? What are you doing? What is this? Baby, I need you. Where are you? Mrs. Warren, Jenna said, raising her voice. What? Who the hell is that? Oh my God, where's Eli? What happened? Mrs. Warren, please calm down, Jenna said louder. Using my phone probably wasn't the ideal move, but we knew Tessa wouldn't answer a strange number. Mr. Warren is fine, she said firmly. He hasn't been hurt. There was no accident. But Noah said, who are you? Why are you calling from his phone? He gave me the phone to make sure you picked up, Jenna said. I'm his attorney. The story about the injury? That was a ruse. I'm sorry if it scared you, but it was necessary. She stuck her tongue out at me and smiled. A prank? What the hell is going on? Tessa snapped. Who are you, and why are you calling me from Eli's phone? Mrs. Warren, Jenna replied evenly. I'm calling with your husband's permission, and this conversation is being recorded. Do you consent? Tessa's voice trailed off in frustration. Recorded? Why? Who are you? My name is Jenna Caldwell. I'm an attorney at Green Family Law in Springville, she said clearly. Your husband, Eli Warren, has retained me to represent him in the dissolution of your marriage. There was a pause. Then Tessa repeated, stunned, the dissolution? Yes, Jenna confirmed calmly. Mr. Warren is seeking a private and efficient resolution. A sordid affair? Tessa echoed weakly, as if trying to ground herself with someone else's words. Yes, Mrs. Warren. Normally, you'd be served through the courts, Jenna continued, but Mr. Warren is offering the chance to settle out of court, discreetly. Please contact your own attorney as soon as possible. My attorney? Tessa asked, bewildered. Yes. Do you have a pen? Jenna asked. I can give you my contact info now. No. I don't, Tessa muttered. That's okay. I'll text you the details, Jenna said. Once I do, this number will stop functioning, and you won't be able to reach Mr. Warren on it anymore. No, wait. I need to speak to him. Tessa cried. This is wrong. We love each other. I need to talk to him. Please, is he there? I'm sorry, Mrs. Warren, Jenna said, her tone firm but professional. Mr. Warren is not ready to speak with you. Have your attorney reach out. Goodbye. Jenna ended the call just as Tessa's voice cracked out another plea. That went well, she said dryly, though there was real sadness in her voice. She sent Tessa a text with her office info, then powered off the phone. You all right? I asked, surprised to be the one checking in. I like protecting people from manipulation, she replied. But situations like this, they wear me out. She glanced at me. Something's off, Eli. I think you're doing the right thing, but I don't feel hatred from your wife. It's like she's spiraling. Some kind of dependency, maybe. Whatever it is, she's self-destructing and dragging you both down. Screw me, I muttered. I'm not even 30. Did I already use up all my happy days? Jenna shook her head quickly. No. It's hell right now, but this isn't your ending. We'll connect you with a therapist. Take it seriously, and you'll come out stronger. Noah waited too long, she added. He told me how much more painful it got because he tried to tough it out alone. Yeah, it cost me, Noah said later, as we sat at a downtown sports bar, eating wings and shrimp, sipping Bloody Marys. I used to think therapy was just for weak people, he said, shaking his head. Turns out, bottling it up just made me a blocked toilet of emotion. You should have talked to me more, I said, trying to ignore his disgusting metaphor. I wanted to. But every time I saw you and Tessa looking so happy, it hurt more than it helped, he said honestly. Until therapy, I couldn't look at you two without feeling like I lost everything. Why? I asked, genuinely surprised. Because you two seemed perfect. And it made me grieve what I didn't have. Made me realize I've been lying to myself for years, he said, taking a long drink. But after I started seeing Jenna's therapist, I could look at you two as hope, not just pain. I stared at him. And now you know it was just another lie. Screw me, he said, nearly laughing. Screw me, I echoed, raising my glass. We clinked and drank in silence. Have a seat, Eli, Jenna said the next afternoon. We were in a smaller conference room this time, papers spread across the table. It was Tuesday. I'd taken the day off after changing all my employment info on Monday. I'd spent most of the day at Noah's place, hunting for an apartment. I couldn't stay in that poisoned house. I'd run 5 miles that morning, then another 3 just before meeting Jenna, hoping the exercise would keep me level. When her receptionist led me in, I half expected Tessa and her lawyer to be waiting. Jenna laughed when she saw my face. No, it's just us today, she said with a slight smirk. We need space to work, not stage a courtroom drama. I sat down and exhaled. Tessa wanted to come, Jenna said, sitting across from me. Wanted to explain in person. And if this were a TV show, it would have made for one hell of a confrontation. Glad real life isn't cable TV, I said. Jenna smiled. Yeah, and thankfully, I'm not anything like her. As I reflected on our previous meetings, I realized, thank God for that. I think you'll be surprised by what Tessa said, Jenna continued. But it's probably best if she tells you herself. Let me guess, I said. She did it all for me. Jenna tilted her head. That's basically what she said. I felt my throat tighten. You've got to be kidding. I forced the curse back. Jenna's expression shifted. She reached out and rested her hand on mine, trying to stop me from clenching my fists. She didn't mean it like that, Eli, she said softly. I'm sorry, I should have phrased it differently. I didn't move, just stared. She's devastated that you found out, Jenna said. She's crushed that you left. Left her. I repeated. I hadn't even framed it that way before, but she was right. I had left. What did you mean by she did it for me? I asked carefully. Jenna hesitated, then said it. The baby. It felt like the air got sucked out of the room. We've been trying to have a child for 11 months. She said she found someone like you, someone with your look, to try and get pregnant, Jenna said, her voice quiet. She wanted it that badly? I asked. Enough to do this? Jenna pushed a few papers toward me. Yes. It was a lab report, dated 3 months back, issued by Tessa's gynecologist. It took me a moment to process what I was looking at. 2 samples labeled under patient 25473, both flagged for low motility. Am I patient 25473? I asked. Jenna gave a slight nod. But how did she get those samples? I asked, watching for the first flicker of discomfort on Jenna's face. She collected them herself, she said softly. Without telling you. After 6 months of trying with no results, she secretly submitted samples to her doctor. So instead of talking to me, she started recruiting guys who looked like me? I said, my voice flat, the meaning hitting harder than I expected. She accepted their donations, no lab involved. Just the old-fashioned way. Jenna winced. She told her doctor that your insurance didn't cover assisted reproduction, and you'd already drained your savings buying the house. I leaned forward and dropped my forehead to the table, trying to hold myself together. So if her twisted plan had worked, I wouldn't have to pay child support, right? Jenna didn't answer right away. Her silence said everything. You'll still need to be tested, she said gently. Your count was low, not zero. And if there's any chance, it changes the situation. What now? I asked, dreading the answer. She panicked, Jenna said. Once she realized the divorce was happening, she went to her OB-GYN asking for a morning after pill. But it's not the morning after, I said. She was with her first guy Thursday night. Exactly, Jenna nodded. Dr. Rayburn confirmed it. Tessa even asked her to call you, but I told her I'd explain. She had pushed herself to the edge just to get pregnant, and when she realized I wouldn't raise someone else's child, she tried to wipe the whole thing clean. It was pathetic and heartbreaking. Then another piece fell into place. She timed all of this right before my hunting trip, I said. She was setting up the timeline, planned to be with me Monday, to reinforce the lie. Probably figured I wouldn't question it. God knows what she picked up, I muttered. Jenna reached across the table, gently squeezing my hand. It's a concern, yes. But believe it or not, Tessa thought of that too. After our last meeting, I reviewed the security footage again, she continued. There's something she does, right when her visitors arrive. Like what? I asked. She checks their phones. Every time. A month ago too. Oh no, I groaned. She did do that. I saw her. She told me that first guy was the only one, Jenna said. When that didn't work, she tried again during your trip. She planned to go back to being faithful after getting what she wanted. We always said we wanted 2 or 3 kids, I muttered. I never knew she'd go this far. Did you catch the part on the footage? Jenna asked. The phone checks. Yeah. I thought she was just looking at invites or something. She was checking their STI results, Jenna said, eyes narrowing. I stared at her in disbelief. They get tested regularly? They do, Jenna confirmed. She wanted to be safe, in her own messed-up way. Later that evening, over pizza and beer, I brought it up with Noah. So, you ever get tested regularly? Carry the paperwork around like that? I asked. Actually, yeah, I do, he said. I always use protection and keep test results on my phone. Part of the game now. If I start dating again, I'll have to do that crap too, I muttered. When you start dating again, he corrected. And yeah, you probably should. He took a long drink, then added, honestly, I'm surprised Tessa's spilled so much already. That's not how most people play their hand in a divorce. She doesn't have a lawyer, I told him. Jenna ran into her outside the office this morning and insisted they talk. Tessa still thinks once I know everything, I'll change my mind. Noah let out a dry laugh. Yeah? How'd that work out for her? She told Jenna she thought her plan made perfect sense, that once I understood, I'd be back home tonight. He passed me another beer as we sat in his apartment. I still hadn't decided if I could even live in the same town as Tessa, let alone the same street. A week and a half later, I was back in Green Family Law's conference room. Jenna and I sat on one side of the table. Tessa and her attorney sat across from us. Her lawyer, a balding man in an oversized suit, cleared his throat. Mr. Warren, Ms. Caldwell, we have 2 issues. First, my client wishes to remain married. Second, if reconciliation is off the table, your settlement offer is lacking. It suggests an even division of property but omits several shared assets. The spousal support proposal is also minimal and too brief. Under the table, Jenna tapped my foot. Told you so. I gave her the smallest nod. Mr. Winslow, Jenna said evenly, Mr. Warren has already offered to cover 60% of your fees. That's beyond fair, especially considering what he's endured. If we end up in front of a judge, that generosity will be noted. I wasn't trying to take Tessa to the cleaners. I didn't want her ending up broke or crawling back to her parents' basement. She'd refused to hire a lawyer, thinking this wouldn't go through. When it became clear it would, she couldn't afford good representation on her salary. So I'd asked Jenna to help her find someone decent. Jenna continued, and let's not forget my client's quality of life. You've seen the evidence. Imagine what he lives with, those images burned into his memory. It sounded dramatic, but it wasn't an exaggeration. Therapy was slow going. Even with support from Jenna and Noah, I still couldn't sleep right. Ironically, the therapy was covered by my insurance, unlike the reproductive services that might have prevented this whole disaster. I'm so sorry, Eli. Tessa sobbed across the table. So sorry. Winslow gave her hand a reassuring squeeze. Then he turned to Jenna. Miss Caldwell, while I do sympathize with Mr. Warren, our state's divorce statutes don't weigh this kind of emotional trauma when dividing property or assigning support. Jenna's eyes sharpened. Mr. Winslow, she snapped, if your client won't agree to the current settlement, we won't file it at all. If we take this to court, Jenna said calmly, placing her hand on a thicker folder, we'll be filing on the grounds of your client's infidelity. She tapped the papers with deliberate weight, and the terms in that filing are far less generous than what's on the table now. Winslow hesitated, his hand hovering over the folder, visibly unsure whether to open it. I had done what I thought was right. I'd made sure Tessa had decent legal counsel, but dragging this into public court would destroy both of us. Only, for Tessa, it would be worse. If we go public, Jenna added, we'll be forced to subpoena the names of all the men involved in her affairs. And we'll request a paternity test on the child she tried to conceive during those encounters. Tessa let out a gasp, followed by a sound that came from somewhere deep, a raw sadness she hadn't yet shown. All right, that's enough. Winslow snapped, standing abruptly. There's no need for cruelty, Miss Caldwell. Mrs. Warren deliberately avoided pregnancy with her husband, he continued. But she still wanted a child they both wanted. I barely whispered, my baby. Our baby. My voice cracked, and I felt Jenna's hand press gently over mine. Her foot found mine under the table. But it would be ours. Tessa said suddenly, her voice rising with desperation. It would be ours, Eli, yours and mine. The lawyers agreed to take a short recess. Jenna walked me out to her office, while Winslow took Tessa for a breather. When we returned to the room, Winslow picked up where he left off. Mrs. Warren made a difficult choice, he said. One that was forced by her husband's refusal to consider fertility options. Her actions may have been drastic, but it could still be his child. Jenna's posture shifted subtly, ready to push back but staying composed. Her voice was gentler this time, almost warm. We understand Tessa made a painful decision, one she believed was right at the time. But it hasn't yet been confirmed whether that decision worked. She may still be pregnant. And if that's the case, we need to address it directly. Tessa looked pale. Her hands trembled slightly. Jenna's tone stayed even. The agreement makes it clear, any child conceived during this time would not be presumed to belong to Mr. Warren. There will be a paternity test. And if necessary, we'll require the same from any potential biological fathers. She didn't say the next part, if she decides to keep the baby, because I'd asked her not to. The room was tense enough. Tessa leaned in and squeezed her lawyer's hand. They were already talking through their next move. Winslow cleared his throat. Putting that aside, Mrs. Warren would like to return to her original position. She's asking not for divorce, but for reconciliation, counseling, a fresh start, a chance to build the family they always wanted. I felt something deep and ugly rise in my throat. Why the hell didn't she just tell me from the beginning? Why did it take betrayal for her to want honesty? Mr. Warren? Winslow prompted. Eli. Voices around the room blurred together until I slammed my fist down on the table. I'm already in therapy, I said coldly, still staring at the tabletop. My therapist says asking why is like pouring into a funnel. The answers take time to rise to the top. And until they do, healing stalls. I looked up, locking eyes with Tessa. He suggested I ask you to join a session. And I was ready to. But now, I exhaled. Now I just need to know why you brought strangers into our bed instead of telling me the truth. Winslow opened his mouth, but Tessa cut him off. I didn't want to hurt you, she said. I didn't want to be the one to tell you that. You couldn't give me a baby. You've always been so proud of your body, your strength. I didn't want you to think you weren't enough. I blinked. Oh God, was I that blind? Did I miss something this obvious? No, she said quickly. I said it wrong. That's not what I meant. She took a deep breath. If we could have afforded IVF, I would have said something. But we couldn't. And I wanted a baby. We wanted one. It wasn't about escaping the marriage or chasing some fantasy. It was just the donor. Not about the sex? I asked. No, she said. Why would I ever want to run away from you? So you didn't enjoy it? She flinched, but replied, don't you see? Yeah, I labeled them as folders on the site, but they were all you, Eli. All the fantasies were tied to you. Just different versions. Like those multiverse comic book movies you're obsessed with. Younger you, older you, future you. That's what I was imagining. All the good memories I already had with you. That's what I fed into it. And the idea of having a child. I always imagined you, the real you, as the father. Even if it wasn't your DNA. I turned to Jenna, who gave me a questioning look. I nodded once. Without a word, she reached for the other folder, the one marked in red. The nuclear option. As I spoke, Jenna slowly pulled out several large color photos and slid them across the table. Crystal clear 8 by 10 prints from the house cameras. Some from Friday night. Some from my own lens. Tessa's face drained of color gray, then green. She barely made it to the trash can before vomiting. The house on 3rd Street sold fast. Despite owning it for less than 2 years, the value had gone up enough to pay off the mortgage and cover our separate moves. I relocated from Noah's spare room into a modern, work-friendly condo. Tessa went back to her hometown but managed to rent her own small place, thankfully not her childhood bedroom. She wasn't pregnant. She landed a stable job and found a rhythm. The 5 months of child support I paid before the results were final didn't ruin me, but I was relieved when it ended. She wasn't destitute, and I didn't want her to be. But she brought this down on us both. I still carried the betrayal. Still felt it in my bones. She'd been the love of my life. And as much as it hurt to admit it, her regret, it was real. Her final letter said she still hoped for reconciliation someday. But I knew that day would never come. Therapy had helped. It gave me space to drop the bitterness, lose the self-pity. I no longer saw myself as a fool sentenced to a dull, gray future. As for Riley, she ended up working the espresso machine at a Starbucks downtown, still blaming Noah for her spiral, even though he had a rock-solid alibi. Surveillance footage and multiple witnesses had placed him at a Foo Fighters concert the night everything unraveled. Looking ahead, I've only got one more spousal payment left. Once that's done, every obligation from the marriage will be behind me. And Jenna Caldwell? She'll no longer be my attorney. But when she found out I'd gone to an art exhibit and actually enjoyed it, she smiled and said, "I wish our first date had been at a gallery too."